I'm Nancy, and I'm going to be leading a chair yoga session for about 20 minutes. We'll be moving in our chairs. We'll begin with breathing. The breath work that we do at the beginning of our session helps us center and open the upper body. We'll be moving from there with some stretching and poses that help our strength and flexibility. So as we start our breathing, we can close our eyes if we like. It sometimes helps us turn inward a little more. So just feeling relaxed in our chairs as well as lifted up through the spine. We find that balance between being lifted and lengthened and also at ease. So just closing our eyes if we choose. We'll start taking our breath in through the nose, letting it out through the nose. A way to filter our breath by breathing through the nose. We'll begin to feel the abdomen expand as we take our breath in. And then as we exhale, we'll pull that abdomen back a little bit. And we gradually get that breath moving in a way that opens the front of the body more. And then more contraction comes as we exhale. Feeling that expansion. And that little pull in of the muscles. Really enjoying getting balance to the breath and getting that sense of pushing out all that stale breath that we don't need. We gradually get so the chest expands, almost like an upside down triangle inside of us that pulls the breath in and opens, lets the breath out, and sinks in. Can get more volume to those exhales. And that really helps us turn in a little bit more also, getting us ready for our practice. Just 2 more nice deep breaths. Our shoulders up and down. Let's do that 2 more times. Up and down and up and down, because we often carry tension in the neck, upper back, and shoulders. It feels so good to get that release. And then dropping our chin down to chest, we can roll left ear toward left shoulder and then ease that back to center. Roll the other direction. Let's do that a couple more times. And as with anything in our yoga practice, we move in the way that's comfortable for our bodies and never in a way that causes pain. It should never be about pushing to be so challenged that we experience pain. Letting that chin drop back to chest and then lifting so the chin is level right above the chest. Our neck feels extended. Let's turn and look over that left shoulder. Just get the chin sort of level with the shoulder, and then we'll take our eyes back. Nice wide eyes. Turning them back helps us expand those muscles. And we'll take it back center. And then move that the other direction. Just let that chin go to wherever it feels like you have a nice stretch. And the eyes open and we look back. As we turn that back to center, let's take our hands out and roll the wrists. We have our wrists often at uncomfortable angles when we're at the computer or driving, so it's great to get some stretch there. Let's move in the other direction. And then as we let our hands just shake out a little bit, we'll release there. And from there, taking our hands down and lifting our left foot. Let's circle that around. And from the ankle, pop, pop. And let's go the other way. And continuing with that side of the body, let's lift the knee and just hold that knee up a little closer to the chest. You can have hands wherever they're comfortable, behind behind or one in front or whatever. We're gonna roll that knee a little bit. Start that movement from our hips that we'll work on as we go through the class. And then we'll just release that side down, pick up the other knee. And as we just stretch out first through that leg, we'll roll through that ankle. And then bringing that knee up closer to chest and back and forth a little bit. And setting that foot back on the floor. Let's take hands from sides all the way up, taking a breath with it, and then letting hands drop down to thighs. You might want to scoot forward just a little bit in our chair for this cat and cow movement by lifting up through the chest. Take a breath in, and then by rounding and dropping the chin, curving the back, we move into a cat stretch. Inhaling, opening into our cow stretch. And exhaling and rounding. This is a great sequence also for closing our eyes and just turning inward, because it gives us an opportunity to feel what's going on in our bodies and how that nice stretch happens in our backs. How we move from the very low back all the way up, and how our breath actually works with us. It becomes part of our process, our tool, aid. Come back to neutral spine, relaxing shoulders. From here, a little forward of the back of the chair, we'll just move in some small circles. Again, getting some space around the hips. And then let's move that circle around the other way. Take that back into center. Lengthening up through the back. Hands returning to sides. Let's inhale, open to ceiling. And then exhale, hands down. Our feet are dropped down onto the floor so that we feel like we're lifting all the way up from the feet and from the tailbone. Exhaling, release. Once more, we'll open up with both hands. And then let's reach one hand a little higher and then follow with the other. So just back and forth a few times to feel the space around the ribs, a place in the body where we often have a lot of compression. Feel the stretching and opening. With both hands extending up towards ceiling, let's lower that left one. Right side stays long, and we'll just bring that hand back to our thigh for a little curve over. Coming back towards ceiling, extending up through left hand, that right one drops. And we feel our opening and our curving. Let's go back up and just let that hand fall down. Taking our hands forward. Take a big breath until we reach all the way back to the back of the chair. We can hold on to the chair or just reach back behind, getting that chest expansion. Wonderful for the front of the body, the part of the body that's so often contracted and tight. Let's release back forward, hands right in front of chest. And let's just open out to a nice wingspan. And then we'll come back forward, let the hands drop down. Thinking about that length, really finding it all the way up through the spine, through the neck. Let's take a breath. And as we let that breath out, we're going to hinge over from our hips to a little fold. So we feel a release in the back, all the way down. Feel the chin drop a little bit, top of the head drop a little bit. Let's push ourselves all the way back up. Hands coming out from shoulders. Let's bring those hands in right in front of chest. And we're going to start some twisting movement, reaching across the body one way and then the other. Mindful of our elbows and shoulders staying a little low so no tension comes in around our necks. Remembering to breathe as we move. Bring that back center, releasing hands down, resting back against the chair, and just taking a moment to enjoy quiet in the body and absorbing the movements we just did. Taking a few breaths. Place in the body has become more tense since we started moving. We may want to shake that out a little bit. Release your shoulders, your neck, your hands or feet, or anything that feels like it's become tight. Sometimes we have a place in the body that we tighten up as we start moving. As we begin a little more active part of this session, we always keep in mind that we work at our own level, our own abilities, and if this doesn't work for you, just go back to taking a little break and breathing, or moving around your hands or feet. Maybe stretching arms overhead again, something that's comfortable for you. So moving forward in the chair, we're going to sit about halfway up, and then we'll take our left leg and bring it over to the side. So we've made a little square shape out of our upper legs and forward. Our posture stays lifted and lengthened up from the chair, and from there, we're going to take our hands out and bring them both so they face that leg that's to the side. Inhaling, lifting up to ceiling. We're moving toward a warrior one pose. From here, we can take the leg that's in front of the chair and drop it a little more towards the floor, that knee dropping. Our lift comes from the very base where we're seated. Our extension moves up through the ribs, through the spine, but our shoulders don't carry tension toward the neck. We're breathing. Sometimes we forget to breathe. So we want to remember to take our breath up and then feel a release of exhale and tension. Coming down into the front thigh with our hands. Let's rest that elbow on the thigh. Taking the other hand up to ceiling, just circling up so we make a nice stretch from that shoulder to fingertips. This is called side angle. This is a great way to open the side of the body. If we want to advance it, we can let that arm reach a little more over the ear. And if we're not comfortable with the hand lifted, it can always just stay down at our side. So you choose where you want to be here. Find a place that works for you. Let's drop that hand back. Let a breath out. Lift back up and turn back to face forward. Take a moment just to adjust, to check in with our bodies, make sure we're ready for the other side, and we can take as much time as we need to do that. And as we take the other leg out to the side, as we get squared up with those knees to make an opening, we'll get ready for warrior one on this side. Our length up, our hands out. We'll move them to face that front knee and lift with the breath. So we find our warrior one. Good. Let's let that back leg drop just a little bit. Maybe we feel more release come from that knee and hip. We get a stretch there and an opening in those hip flexors. Letting your breath. Hope you feel good here. Hope you feel space, extension, and strength. This is one of those strengthening poses. Let's exhale. Let our hands drop. We'll relax that front leg and then let the arm on that side leg drop over elbow to thigh. Other hand lifts. We open up from the shoulder to the fingers, as well as feeling those side ribs really nice and spacious. Again, our breath is a tool. We feel that opening come even further as we inhale. As we let go of that arm, relaxing it down, let's lift back and bring our feet back forward. Taking a moment just to rest back against the back of the chair, finding a comfortable place. Lifting our spines away from the chair back. Let's take our hands down to sides once more, and from there lifting. Ready to drop over to our fold. Let's think about that coming with an exhale, releasing all the way down if you like, hands to the ground or hands on the knees, you choose. Imagine that a line is rolling, a wave rolling down from the tailbone all the way to the top of the head. Letting go. Let's shake our head, nod our head. And as we bring hands to thighs, we'll roll that slowly back up. Seeing how our spine has become more flexible in our movements here. Let's go back up to ceiling with hands. And as we find one more chest expansion, our hands drop behind. You can imagine we're holding one of those big exercise balls right behind us. Let's bring our hands back around to the front. And taking that right leg, let's lift that knee. We're going to cross it over. So we make a little figure 4, getting stretch on the outside of that hip. As we sit in this position, we have the option of folding a little bit more over that thigh, so the stretch comes even deeper on those outside or abductor muscles. Oh yes. All right, let's lift that back up and releasing that leg. We'll just take the knee back and forth a few times, continuing that feeling of space coming into our hips. And let's release that foot down, coming up with the other leg and crossing that one over. The crossing over may be enough stretch. If you feel like you want a little bit more, you can start that drop, a little bit of a fold. You may have found places in your body that are really tight, and you may have found places more on one side of your body than the other. So you might want to hold one side a little bit more. Come back to this when we're finished. Let's go up, release the leg, and just move the knee back and forth. And as we just let go of that knee, finding our feet flat on the floor. Let's open up one last time towards ceiling with the option of interlacing hands and turning those palms away. Breathing all the way up, enjoying the space we've created. Hands releasing, we might curve a little bit toward the left. Just feel the opening. Coming back up, a little curve to right. Coming back to ceiling. Let's soften those arms back down to sides. Dropping that chin to chest. Checking in on the neck, maybe rolling a little bit, side to side. We want to be able to leave our session feeling energized, but also feeling relaxed. That's the great thing about yoga. It really gives us that balance of ease and effort, of energy and peacefulness. So resting against the back of the chair, letting our hands relax in our laps, palms up or palms down, whichever way that you're comfortable. We're going to close our eyes. Just let a long exhale come out. Feeling as though we've just dropped any remaining tension out of the body. We've created a weighted feeling down in our feet, down in our thighs, resting against the chair. Our breath becomes soft and easy. We take a few moments to let our body absorb everything that we've just done so that we're ready to go about our day. Thank you.